I honestly haven't seen a game day of such insane circles. Back-to-back Los Leones, and like, yeah, okay, of course, our third game wasn't too rough, but then a Sarky ending, like, give me a curveball. Give the teams a curveball. I want to see a crazy last game as well.
You know what that means? It means melee base. Let's get it going. It's game number 5. We will find out in just a few moments where that circle is going to be going. And a big thank you to Intel joining us here. It's all about the cash money, baby, here at the PGI.S as we give it out, and whoever gets the most becomes the champion. Pansy, Hypox, bring us the final game.
We'll do our very best for you, James, and all of you playing along at home. If you're just tuning in now, as you see the plane take to the sky, this is, of course, the PGI.S presented by Intel, where the gaming happens. We're starting out over Lipovka, and we're heading right across the melee base. I mean, they asked for it. That plane path kind of says it could be a thing. Who knows?
I mean, this stinks of mill to power or melee circle, but I want to see it now.
But it could go mansion.
Just round out the day. Come on.
Come on, give us something good. We'll see if there's any hot drops. We'll keep our eyes on it. Of course, that is our first port of call. But again, we've been treated some great circles, dude. I am loving it so far.
Oh, actually, interesting Sosnovka split here. Actually, Liquid looking like they're going to try and take the West. Again, this is the second time in 3 games Oath have had to share Sosnovka. Mexi actually coming pretty far over towards melee base actual, so that's going to be tricky actually if the Oath can isolate him there and pick up that kill early on. Again, Liquid, I don't want to say haven't had the best day other than that game on Erangel again, which kind of slipped through their fingers to the Freaks. Really, this is a team that we know that they need to start in terms of game by game. Playing from 3 is never easy.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk options now. So you've got a bit of water on the left, bit of water on the right. You've got Stalber up top and Milter down below. Now, slap bang in the middle of that, you'd have Mansion. Now, I will always love Mansion. I don't think I've ever cast an actual ending on Mansion itself, to be fair. But that aside, we've got Yasnaya in here. Now, Martin did mention he'd like a Yasnaya fight. It's very tricky, but maybe they're just giving out little freebies like, oh, you mentioned this earlier? Have an ending there. It's tricky to get there, but again, the circle will eventually move away from obviously the main amount of water on the right, but also that lake that kind of sits just south of that town we used to be unable to be leaning. So, I mean, there's actually a lot of ending potentials here. We've got Shelter. You guys at home, look, I'm talking to you. I'm tabbing back to chat. You can hear me tapping away. Which ending do you want? You've got options, right? Do you want a Lipovka? It doesn't bring me joy. Prison? I mean, question mark could be quite nice. Yasnaya. We've got the thing is when I see the circle, I do think about the northern shifts that kind of go to the lower side of Stalber, just because it was so common during the European set, Pro League sort of time. But Shelter. Okay, you guys let me know. What about you, Hypo? What would you want out of this?
Mansion. I'd love a mansion or a hilltop. You know well, I know obviously in the EU it's called something completely. X Games is obviously the NA call. It's like the most North American call you can make for any
game mode. Yeah, good old America.
You guys call it Heaven, right? Just Heaven or Hilltop.
Heaven is the you mean like the literal plateau at the top of it, right, with the compound on top? Yeah, it's Heaven. At least in Europe, yeah.
Something in between. Again, with we don't really talk about it too much anymore, but obviously with the changes to Erangel, that part of the map becomes way more playable now in the late game. So
massively.
I just love seeing teams kind of set up there. Again, the good old Alamo. It's been a long time since we've had like a warehouse Alamo ending, actually.
I mean, I always I really like the new area above. Yeah, true. I mean, that we are asking for a lot with that one. I would like somewhere between maybe Prison and Mansion. Either or. Even the territory in between these days is really good with the new trenches that run through and the new bits of cover you can play around. We've had some really nice endings around that. Looking at the teams, they're all kind of going towards the far east of Yasnaya, kind of just a little north of Mansion, maybe it looks like. At least where Na'Vi, K7, Furia, teams who had like the early start kind of went towards that sort of position. So I'm looking to see if that's the kind of likelihood that most people are kind of aiming for.
Yeah, nobody really making too many moves yet. Sonic said again, this is around about the time on the clock that they would start making moves. So they're going to have pretty easy path actually. If they, I mean, usually they would come across Potato, but looks like they might try and opt to go north on the school app side to maybe try and get past into the circle that way towards Volcano. Again, Sonic's had a rough go at things. Again, that game one, really good start for them. Again, to be honest with you, made the best of a bad situation, right? And they were one of the ones that had to do some of the most moving in terms of circle 4 and 5 onwards, and just kind of stumbling at the last hurdle. But I haven't really seen much out of them other than game one.
Yeah, I'm a little underwhelmed by them because I was so impressed with them. I literally got to see them for one game and they were like, yeah, we're through, we'll catch you on the weekend. Like, they've just dipped. Like, they were so good coming in. They looked so above the others. But yeah, it's a little bit of a shame that we've got, as I said, like a little bit of a quieter performance today. I'd love to see them keep it up. But again, you can have bad days. Considering they already looked so solid during their earlier games, I can't fault them. Now, I do want to look towards who's claimed the big territory. Because again, it's pretty clustered over here. Now we are seeing it looks like 4 AM have some really good positioning. God V didn't want to go into it. No, he's just chilling in the forest in his car, as you do. Yeah, and so Triumph are going to swing on past. I don't think that's really available to them anymore. You can see Mansion. I think that was a Na'Vi name. Yeah, looking like they've committed towards that. 4 AM do have Hilltop, kind of sitting pretty up there and towards Heaven, however you like it. Sonic's going to heading right into this. I don't know how deep they plan to go on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams. Again, I mean, just look at it. The stack is that there's nobody kind of north of Yasnaya if you were to draw a line across that. So a lot of teams condensed in right now, making a mad dash for the center. And Sonic's pretty much running the gauntlet, to be honest with you. They're going to get up onto the backside, or actually the north side of Mansion. This is bold, but it's, I mean, they're going to get 4 people in here. Na'Vi only have 2 right now because they're running a split.
God, Mansion looks so cool these days with all like the overgrown vines and everything. Yeah. Oh, it looks so good. Damn it. Na'Vi, there's the other 2, kind of, some of the other players that we were kind of looking at. Senya keeping eyes across. It's a really nice complementary position if you could hold both. But again, Mansion's very hard to hold everything, especially with that new kind of woodland that kind of sits to the north, as you can see here. It kind of obscures the vision. It's very easy to crash into. And, well, Sonic saw that and they took the opportunity very well. So nice work from them to be able to grab that. That's a good bit of territory. They pretty much sniped away a central spot at the 7-minute marker. That's very well done.
I mean, it's a massive send as well, considering they came all the way from Pachinki, right? And that's kind of the reward of rotating as early as they do. That's kind of their trademark, their go-to. Godvi actually going to get gifted, was it? No, it's an AUG. Okay, so he's going to get the level 3 gear upgrade and an AUG to boot. Before I'm really given it, I said there was nobody north of Yasnaya, but you see Godvi over on the east side, and obviously we know the rest of 4 AM over towards Heaven, so kind of controlling a lot of space there, and that's a high traffic area for anybody trying to, I guess, come in on the north side to get towards center. Yeah. Phase down on Alamo. See, this is a kill that Ace had just got. See, nice. A little bit bold with the rotation here. It's actually, around about the same time Sonics were headed towards Mansion.
Yeah, and FaZe are in a bit of a split. Keep in mind, Uber is not with the same pack, and Gustav's a little over towards Prison as well. So it's kind of a bit of a gamble on that, I'd guess. Now, eyes on Gen G. Considering how well they're doing, sitting in 2nd currently, they're pretty far to the north, I think. Yeah, they're just coming away from Georgia Pole, so they've got a long way in. I guess they could post up by Stalber. The amount of times we've seen circles go up towards that, the kind of massive bend in the road that leads up towards Kameshki, it's not a bad shout. Now, obviously, you're not playing the best percentages, but it's not a bad shout. However, up there is already, I believe, TSM. So they're kind of coming up to a team in a very similar position. Gen G 2nd, TSM 4th, and only by a couple of points between each other. So it's not a mad jump if needed.
It's not as... TSG still trying to just find something. We did see, obviously, in that replay, Sia did fall, but... So now actually going to pull up onto the swamp on the north side, and Sonics, we know already they're trying to control this area, but nobody out in the swamp itself. So they're going to have to give this up. And the problem becomes now, the more teams you let kind of get into the swamp area again, it's that constant threat, right? You can just get crept up on. But Tulins, speaking of creeping up, oh, did he get I don't know if he caught wind of Buyo's position there, but Buyo did end up trying to open up onto Batulin, so he's got to tuck his tail between his legs to get out of there. Again, way away from the rest of his team. So just a little bit of a rotation trap set up by K7 over on the east side.
Okay. Freaks. I don't know, drive around. They're still okay. I'm waiting for that circle update. This is where it gets kind of polarizing. I'm actually amazed that... Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I think the next circle update is going to be the one that's going to be kind of cutting it to what sort of game we're going to have, because there's so much water in play. Okay, so Yasnaya Fields, very much in effect. That snaking road where TSM are, yeah, that becomes a very strong position. Suddenly Shoot to Kill and TSM have got themselves in a very prime spot. Now, whether or not they can hold this out is yet to be noted. Every team now needs to move north.
And the problem being there was a load of teams over on the south side outside that new circle. And the problem with that is we know there's 3 teams already occupying Mansion. Now, they all need to find somewhere if they do want to rotate out of this. But VP actually crossing paths once again with K7. Lock actually going for the drive-by here on the loop. Not too much damage. Actually going to get a lot of damage in return, actually, from Spyro. But no knock coming through. K7 are going to be granted some space up here, but again, with that new circle posting, you got to believe it's going to center up. Okay, Fuzz.
Nice, hello. All right, you've woken up. Final game of the day. Is this when you do it? Is this it? Is this just... It's all to the script, you know? They're following the plan. Now, I am looking towards the north, because we saw Liquid on rotation. Now, we saw TSM take over the stronger compounds, but Gen.G and Liquid could potentially clash up here. This is a very... literally an uphill battle for Liquid. These cars ain't going to be flying up there, and Gen.G are already towards the top side of things. If Liquid are unaware, Pu's already on the ground. He's got the gun out. He's ready to go. Ibby and Jeems, they're just driving past. Does he pull the trigger? Clib's out on foot as well. He's seen him. Oh, they are none the wiser. Oh, what a shocker this is going to be. Tap. He gets him too. Clib knocked now. Jeems tries to reply the slow drive-by. Not as stylish as Fuzzface, but we do at least have a bit of a trade. But by now, Lockie's gotten involved as well. Liquid, this could be a quick departure.
Yeah, Ibby's actually pinned down the open. He's got to stick that first aid right now. A nade sent out. Not going to get anywhere close. Does have a UAZ and a rock for a little bit of cover, but...
So pinched.
Well, actually, Ibby gets to confirm onto Pio. That's pretty huge, and Mexi will find Esther. So Liquid actually turning this one round on his head. Both sides taking casualties here.
I don't see any flushes yet either. That's a wild part. Mexi's angle's pretty good, but it's... You can see he's on a spin, but he's got the flush. Okay, Clip's on Locky as well. Liquid have done really well to keep this somewhat viable, and they can potentially get 4 up. Unless someone gets a flush, you can see Anonix is going for that, trying to be, you know, the last-ditch attempt. Ibby just going to try and maybe tuck behind the tree, but I think he's kind of done for. The nade's going to come out. I don't think he can survive this. Oath having their own problems in the back lines. Tags everywhere, 23 HP. He's surely going to be dead. He is. Liquid survive and can get 4 back up here. That's huge.
Wait, what? FaZe just got crashed on by Oath there. As both teams taking casualty, attack all around, actually getting the third pie onto this pack capsule, get knocked to distance. I think that's... Is that 3 down or just 2 down for Oath right now? It's 2.
Okay, 2 knocked, and they got... Because I think FaZe keeps splitting in this. They've been on, like, 1-1s, 2-2s. They haven't been, like, you know, locked into a compound. I still see a FaZe logo way off in the distance. So they're still alive. It was just one of their players got isolated. So I wonder if they're going to be able to punish anyone for this. I don't think they can really do much to Oath at this point. So I really don't know. AAA on the move. You can see Svit back in the vehicle, having a go. Fuzzface, that should be a lock-in. It is. Nice work from Fuzz. Going to now get to the vehicle and get out of dodge. New set. Martin, did you press the button? Did you press the Yasnaya button? Is it time? 4 AM, man. Big brains. They got here right away.
Yeah, and they can now regroup off this split, and with God V and Lou over controlling the police station, it gives them a really good foothold on the edge of the city now. SDK on the minimap, though, you can see them encroaching. Whether or not they're going to try and get round onto the other side. There's still lots of options to get into Yasnaya right now. So the teams that do want to commit that way can definitely still do so. There's lots of space out to the west as well. That's another consideration to make.
Exactly. Do we believe the circles are just absolutely insane today and it'll go to Yaz, or will it go to the more traditional ending, which could be the field where STK is, to be fair, right now, very common ending, or towards the fields in the south? There, we're more used to that. Surely we don't get another city ending. We aren't that lucky.
It's phase
I
now.
mean, the teams believe it.
Well, I mean, I was just looking at it now. How many teams are actually just making a mad dash towards Yasnaya? Maybe in condition. Oh my, that was a disgusting knock there with the Beryl Yanku. Find EJ on the way out, but I think the rest of the freaks might be able to pass all the way into Yasnaya.
Yeah, at this point, it's a send from Sonics as
People
well.
sending it.
Oh, I don't know if I love this. Sonics, this is a rough pull-up. They have one compound to work with, and 4AM's position... Oh my god, that molly coming back through. How? The bombardment. Sonics are lucky to be alive. They're just piling in together, praying for safety. They need... Oh, the nade crazy! You don't get away from that. You do not get away from that. 4AM going in for the kill, it looks like, as well. H-Win before, though, clutched out. Baloo is just littering the floor with Molotovs. You can't save him, H-Win. You gotta let him burn. You gotta leave him alone. H-Win somewhere in between the two now as they do go down. Brilliant hold from 4AM. How brutal is that?
H-Win has no choice but to just ride this out now. The last man standing. The Sonics, again, able to get into that middle section of the building and avoid all that utility damage, but Sonics, man, just a rough start to the weekly finals, and I mean, a rough end to day one as well.
Yeah, I mean, H-Win's still alive, but yeah, this has not been the performance that we kind of wanted to see from them, considering how well they had been playing. At this point, Virtus.pro looking for what they can claim as their own, and there's not too much. There is a still plateau that they could go for. Rello is actually getting out of there. Not a bad shout from him. Move away. They held it for a little while, but this does open up a problem. Oh, easy on the parking there, Batulins. It does open up a slight problem for Oath, because they can be seen if they crest that hill, but whether or not they do. Let's see where this circle goes. South fields, northeast fields. The city's still really in here. The city is really in this one.
Again, lots of these teams, though, is 6 teams obviously made the move towards Yasnaya. Need to make some moves towards the south. STK trying to regroup, and actually Ansivel's going to find an important knock onto Lou there to try and, I guess, relieve some of the pressure on his teammates trying to regroup. But I want to see them get proactive now. They can't stay out there.
Oh my god, VP! The roadblock's there for a reason, boys. You don't get to just turn up and take it. Balefrost is fine. As his pack cap's got to be a little careful on the vehicles where they can get in and get to cover. Finally, they pull up towards this roadblock. They're actually using this as a position. This is really sketchy. That's very visible. Yeah, Rello instantly plucked out by the SLR. That is... I mean, if the South was safe, then fine as a last-ditch attempt. I don't know if I like this rotation. Let's see if they can fortify it well enough. But look at this vision. Everyone just leering in.
The TSG have really good eyes on this, occupying the apartments. H-Win actually creeping on the outside. He's got to be careful. We're 4AM on the inside and SDK on the out. And you can see on the X-ray, it actually looks like SDK are starting to make moves towards the building. Na'Vi trail the blue on the way into this one. Again, not a lot of options for them. It looks like they're going to try and wrap south with some space in the field, but whether or not there's a playable spot for a team, I don't think it's feasible. Infantry are spread here as well. Look, Yao Yang's position to punish this rotation even further.
Wow! That spray was phenomenal. Now, this is the problem. If you get past infantry, which they're not really letting you past, you have FaZe waiting happily on the other side with some very softened targets coming their way. So what a deadly duo that is. FaZe and infantry just locking out the south. That's their own. Na'Vi would have to really hit the deck, but Furia, where do they go? Sending it full in towards the north side of Yasnaya for now. That has been somewhat evacuated. Most of the teams that were there have headed to the south side, trying to avoid that maybe very, very deadly road cross that could come in later game. But we are seeing Oath with a bit of pressure now. We were worried about that position, and that's as to why it's a little rough around the edges. And it's Balefrost right now still alive, but Zanan tries to overpush, overaggress. Infantry again, keeping everyone humble. Only 1 kill though. Now 2.
Now 3. I think actually, H-Win strikes onto Crazy, yeah. SDK trying to shut down this rotation from K7. We get one out. Atra's actually going to get the confirm as well, so... Still putting in work.
Okay.
The last man standing for Sonics. Don't write him off just yet, I guess.
If he can weasel around well enough, go for it. There goes K7, found by Furia. Okay,
Oh my God.
we've got... I get, would you call that like a 70-30, 60-40 field to city ratio? Now, for someone like AAA, this is glorious if it goes to the fields. For all those in the city, it's about to get busy. 4 a.m., they've thought they were safe, but they're being watched on all fronts. You have a man behind enemy lines, which is H-Win, and now you've got the rest of North America. They're here to make a statement. They're at the door, and Uncivil just backhands God V, and now 4 a.m. are looking worried. They're having to get the reses. They're now down. A bad way, and look at this guy clearing through. He's just taking his time, but maybe shoot to kill are going to ruin this for him. He was taking revenge. That nade, so close.
SDK going to try and brute force their way in here. You can see them stacked up, ready to clear through, but we've already got the numbers advantage on 4 a.m. Lou and Godv have it all to do here to defend this position. SDK getting closer and closer. Alo takes a lot of damage on the way in now. Luke's got right the way up onto the building. He will find the first. Lou will fall.
Okay, 4 a.m. just Godv now. Can he breach the Feetsy show? The Tootsie's underneath, but he's good for one. He's got the flush on that too. They go one by one. They're going to pull one by one. Don't make a mess of this, SDK. Godv is just throwing bullets at him. That rate of fire is rough. And H-Win tries to make the run. He's still alive. Kurt's found him, at least on the cross for now. Nade comes in. Is there another victim? You got to back away from that. You don't want to get that damage on Civil. Puts himself in jail after this one. And now we are going to see H-Win gone. That is Sonic's now down in 13th.
Oh, no!
Godv is doing damage to them. The one-man stand. Shoot to kill or fall into pieces. It's these two feeling irrelevant. Trying to bait the noise. He's not having it. He's having none of what they're trying to sell.
The timing there again. Godv reads the situation perfectly. Sees Kurt on the outside. And we'll get the flush as well. Completely uncontested. Uncivil and Luke now stuck in the ground floor. But Godv, he's got to find a way off this rooftop. He's going to opt to try and tank some fall damage here. It's a long way down.
Into the bin, into the bin, into the bin. Ooh, he's good. He's good. Now, if you put down the smoke to his cover is drop, but he just put a smoke down. I don't know how much they've heard of this. They might be slightly aware. They're not aware at all. And again, Godv is running rings around them. You're down to just Luke 12. What a tragedy in the making. Shoot to kill underestimates one angry man. And look what happens. The blue might be his grave, but he has done damage to North America here. Luke 12 can only watch as this all falls to pieces. And they underestimated the one man. And you can never underestimate Godv.
He's actually going to get the first Avos as well. So Luke going to be on the back foot here in terms of damage from the blue. The 1v1 comes out, and actually Godv is going to do it. He's got all 4 kills onto SDK. Oh my word.
Incredible.
He will die a warrior's death.
Absolute hero for Godv there. I don't care that he died to the blue. He just taught them a goddamn lesson. Do not mess with him lightly. He just schooled them on so many levels that was unreal. So well played. But now we need to look at this new circle, because this is where the bloodbath begins. We have 9 teams. It ain't going to be 9 once this circle closes.
No, there's just a slice of the south side of Yasnaya, and you can see on the minimap already teams littered across what is going to be safe come this circle close. But I mean, TSM Furia, they're going to have to get into it. Liquid are going to have sightlines on anybody that comes out on top of that fight. The Oath now trying to pin down, well, Balefrost is the last man standing for Oath, trying to pin down Infantry over on the east side. Infantry don't really have too many options either. It's a hay bale or nothing really on the other side of the road.
Nice, is it right now? And here we go, back into the city fights. TSM in the building, and Necro comes a knocking. The Avon lady looking a little bit more deadly these days. Clearing through Miraku, and Iroh's there as well. He's all on his lonesome. He's got Liquid on one side, and a couple of very spicy Brazilians on the other. Nades and here and there. Oath has gone down. That's a very precarious position they found themselves in. The problem for Furia, though, Hypok, is that this area, they have to still move through it.
They do, yeah. They're not safe for another kind of 50 meters or so. And Liquid, the team has said, going to be the ones to benefit from the remnants of this fight. They're getting a little bit of pressure from Iroh. Actually, looks like Clip's going to try and clear him out with a nade, but Iroh might actually be able to slip away there and break line of sight. Oh no, Ibby found him.
There's hope. Oh
Scrap
no,
that.
there it goes.
There's hope. No, there isn't.
Liquid, the destroyers of hope right now. Let's see if they can keep out Furia too, though. Mexi trying to play on the wide angle. I quite like that. Joining Jeems, these nades, they were good before. They need them again, but they're going to leave the push towards Ibby a little light. Let's see if they can catch it. Lovely work. Combination. Raspu, the molly to follow. Jeems on the flush. Great combination, but Necro still refusing to die. Quick trade comes out, though. Clip showing up today. There's the spray. That's good damage. These Aerofancies to go at this as well. That's dangerous. That gun gives away the game. And Clip don't need no help. This man can hold this just fine. And kill Demo. I don't think survival's an option anymore.
I think he might get that first aid off, but again, his time is limited. He needs to try and make a play here if he wants to try and salvage anything, but looks like he's just trying to med it out, maybe try and get an extra placement point out of the situation. Now, Freak of Freaks looking over this way. Obviously, Liquid did lose Mexi in the fray, but he will find safety just on the edge here. Look how wide open this is. And oh my god, the circle actually pulls back. It's now FaZe and AAA. They have to make moves north now.
Now, I don't know what vehicles they still have. There goes Kill Demo. He was trying to heal it out in the blue, but it's hard now. Okay, so we have Triumph up towards this northeast. A Freak of Freaks are still in this, leading the lobby. Keep in mind, Liquid just under 10 points behind. FaZe way down in the south. This is going to be a really tough run, considering the buildings they're left in have elevation. These minis, SLRs, anything with range attached to them, super tricky to get in towards. Liquid looking for their options. There isn't much, but it's enough to at least keep them in for now. They're trying to work out where they can get to. Going to open up the door for the run through. Going to preempt a smoke in there, create a kind of maybe more established path so you can swing into this without maybe being seen by a Freak of Freaks. Let's see how that goes. Fine for now. Wait, Ace just found gems. Okay, maybe they're trying to put their attention towards them to find maybe the next avenue forward. They do have some vehicles.
Yeah, the problem being running a vehicle across this field now, nobody on the north side really has much to worry about other than anybody coming in from the field, right? I can already see one member of FaZe. Is that Uber? It's Uber sending it in the vehicle. Nobody really lighting him up just yet. No damage taken at least. He's going to find himself a hay bale for the time being. But the problem being, like you said, those sight lines from the apartments, the later it gets, the worse it gets.
CAD waiting this out. He knows there's players around. AAA have made their way forward. They're rolling towards Team Liquid, and they're not happy with that. This is their stronghold. They don't want any company. Not today, thank you. Maybe going to put down one, but there's still players out there. Jay is using that car for cover and a couple of smokes here and there, but that's all he's got to hold on to.
Liquid kind of just allowing Jayers to get closer and closer. FaZe do have a little bit of terrain to play, but again, it's the height advantage. If they can live this circle out, the next one pulls away. They've actually got a fighting chance here.
Okay, we wait. Patience is a virtue. Let's see where this goes. Who gets that head start? Who gets that safety to wait? Palms are sweaty. There's spaghetti everywhere. A Freak of Freaks is still in. Liquid still in. Triumph might have to move across now. FaZe outside. AAA. 50% of them are outside. And you're going to see that 50% trying to make a move for it.
The apartments are going to be in Phase 8. This is absolute madness. I mean, the biggest problem now is that Freak of Freaks running out of ammo, to be honest with you. You see a CAD still conscious of a push coming out from TSG. Liquid's position is still good. They're going to have the wall to play as well. FaZe, on the other hand, again, pulling up to this spot with the vehicles now. The vehicles are taking too much damage. That's no longer an option. No smokes on the side of Uber. I'm not sure how it looks for the rest of the members of FaZe, but Fuzzface actually going to find a knock across the field. But it's not really an opening created whatsoever. Ibby steals it away as well.
Yeah, it's hard to do anything off that. You can't, like, springboard so well. And I wonder for Freak of Freaks how they get out of this, because they are going to have Triumph kind of trying to live right below them, which is a problem because then they can't leave these buildings, it gets really tricky. And obviously, this isn't where the circle's going to end. When it centers up, they're kind of having to leave this at some point, right? Like, I don't know. Again, this is where it gets tricky, is how they leave and what utility they have left. AAA go down, a good attempt. They made it to top 5, but no further. We're down to the last 4 teams here.
It looks like actually our Freaks are going to leave one member up on the rooftop. Ibby's going to find Fuzzface now, and this is going to be painful to watch for FaZe. Honestly, Uber trying to make the cross to him. Maybe we'll find the second as well. So actually, Cad, he's going to pick up that steal onto Uber. Again, his time is numbered a little bit here. Oh my God, they're trying to send nades up to him.
Yeah, the vert nades coming out. I mean, this is why I worry a bit more for a Freak of Freaks here than Liquid. Now, if Liquid make overzealous moves, they'll be spotted, because you're right, there's still a player on that roof. That's going to be the central point. But if Freak of Freaks, if they try and leave, Triumph are going to find them. So, Jeems, this is brave. That's a little bold for Mighty. Yeah, he just gets punished. Players on the roof, players in the windows, they're not letting that go for free. Another nade gets sent to the roof, doesn't quite find the target. A little underhand back, but pings off the wall. That could have been so dangerous.
The TSG, though, in trouble. The second nade is fantastic. Peng will fall from that one. Trade. Hikari, though, actually, yeah, Clip's aggressing onto it. Akad will finally shut that down. It looks like Ibby's trying to reset and get the res onto James. James is back on his feet. This is huge.
This is a 2v2v2. This is still fair across the board. Hikari's still knocked, and Triumph are holding this edge here. Oh my God, Liquid have so little to work with as well, just in the open on the field. They have the center point, though. They can make the best case for this. A Freak of Freaks, if they want another win, they're gonna have to make this one count. Jeem says no. Akad goes down, and now their problems start to really compress. Oh, the underhand, the flash, he can leap over, he goes over, they are completely blind, but the turn comes around. Volley Bear saves the day, but while this happens, Jeems is getting involved. This is looking like a Liquid win with 15 kills. This should bump them to the top. This is wild work. But still, a 2v1 in Hikari. Are they getting flashbacks? Are they being reminded of the mistakes they made in the past? Peering through the smoke, Hikari tries to find one. He doesn't get it this time. Jeems now moves up, finds a new angle to play with. Pins him in the blue even further. The spray's there, and Liquid with the win. They finally right those wrongs from before. A huge victory for the European Giants.
Absolutely massive. And that early move, although it looked risky, Jeems able to kind of give Liquid an opportunity to move early enough and take control of something in the field, and then just waiting for that fight over in the apartments to, I mean, really conclude itself. They were just there to clean up the pieces. Really, really good stuff from them. I cannot believe Phase 7 and Phase 8 shifts. Just absolute madness. But, I mean, Liquid holding on to a slice of the pie and then converting it. What a way to finish day 1 of the weekly finals.
Brilliant stuff from them, and this is what I liked about that ending from Liquid. I'm glad you highlighted it. It's those kind of high risk, almost low percentile chances, right? Because there's no clean way they got to that center point. They had to sacrifice and try and pull themselves in there. Clib just trying to make a mad dash to a tree. I think it was Jeems who just made that run into the smoke, trying to forge a path. And while that happened, yes, the chances are you could have been picked apart, but it created that one opportunity to run out. So incredibly well done to them. Beyond that, though, a Freak of Freaks still terrify me as a team. So consistent throughout. They do finish second in this, but again, they have been present throughout today.
Well, they absolutely have it. Again, we'll have to wait. I think I did just see it pop up there. Liquid obviously closing out in first place, which is a huge statement. Again, it was our Freak of Freaks that was really their kryptonite in that other Erangel game, the one ended up by Quarry, but they managed to close out this time. Really, really good stuff. And to be honest with you,